Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast, the recap of Stage 5 of the Tour de France, the first sprint stage. We're going to have, unfortunately, a couple of crashes. A crash, in fact, that nearly affects GC. We have one categorized climb on the parcours. They got to do, I don't know why they do it like this. I understand why they do certain things with the intermediate sprints. I understand certain things about the KOM allocation in the mountain stages. I don't know why on stages like this, you don't give a bit more incentive on these hills for guys getting a bit of prize money and some KOM points, because there's 2 points available. Molinar's 2 points behind Baudin. If there was, it's 158 Ks and the first 120 are flat, but there's hills in there. There are ups and downs. If they put Cat 4s throughout there, Molinar's in this breakaway. I mean, Caja should be in the break anyway. I think if you're the invitation team and you're not in the break, then
know your place is what you're saying.
Come on, know your place. Join Vistroff in the break, and then maybe another EF rider is in the break trying to defend those KOM points for Baudin. So anyway, there's then 3 hills: 1K 7%, 600 meters 9%, 1300 meters 7.5% in a 10K zone, about 30 Ks from the finish, 25 Ks from the finish. Mads Pedersen said Trek were not going to try anything on those hills. We then have a flat run in. It's a 5K to go rule today, but there is some road furniture and chicanes. And it's going to be a mass sprint, first one. Merlier, Philipsen, the faves. Anything else pre-stage? Just a lot of, there's been a lot of talk about the heat. This has been probably the most consistently hot 3 days in a row of a Tour de France I think any of these riders have ever ridden.
I think so as well. And we've heard conversations about many riders that are suffering about it. We also heard about a Pogacar headache. What is that story, Patrick?
He said he had a headache yesterday.
Ooh.
From the heat.
Is this like mouth sore level of panic or?
I mean, if we want to overanalyze, we can analyze, I remember when he won in UAE Tour or something, 2025 he did UAE Tour?
That was last year, yes, because the year before they lost.
Analyzing a hand signal towards his soigneur. We want to go to the depths of that analysis. I think it was just really hot, and he's like, I've had a long day and it's been really hot. So, no rider's immune to the heat. Some collapse, but everyone's not enjoying it.
And there's no respite. And wasn't there also like an issue with the bus of Visma like yesterday morning, to the point that they had to get a new bus or either fix the existing bus because it didn't have aircon anymore? So, trouble across the board. That is fair to say.
French bus.
French. Okay. I am pro France. Anyway, for 7 French listeners, I've got their support now. We have, to be honest, we have a pretty straightforward breakaway formation phase, because like you said, Baptiste Weisschoffer just jumps in the breakaway and goes on a solo adventure. And I agree that's because of maybe not the stage design as the profile itself, but in the allocation of the KOM gates on the parcours, you could have easily put 2 KOM gates in the first 110 kilometers of this stage. And in doing so, what stops the guy going through this parcours and designing it, Gouvenu, for example, from making a tiny hill on a sprint stage at the start, a second cat climb for the sake of having a breakaway? Does that play too much with the spirit of it, or do we allow that for the sake of...
I'm happy to have bunch sprint stages, and this is not even a pure bunch. I mean...
I don't mean changing the parcours. I mean a tiny hill that's on the parcours, inflate...
Put a Cat 4 on it.
Or a Cat 3 or a Cat 2 to inflate the value to make sure there's a breakaway. Or is that too unfair then for the classification?
Too unfair for what?
I don't know.
Because these points are insignificant. We're talking 2 points, 1 point, 2 point, right? That's not changing whether it's Lenny or Carapaz or... Like, the person that goes and takes those points is not winning the KOM classification. So they're actually all it does is it provides an incentive for a Caja rider to get in the break, because they actually have a chance to take the KOM jersey and wear it the next day, which matters to them, matters to Total, matters to Lotto, matters to probably maybe even Baudin. And he has so like Molinar knows he can't win KOM. All due respect, Luke. But
not after that crash.
If he can take it back today by going in the break and wear it tomorrow for Caja, it's just more of an incentive. So I don't understand the rationale for not having more of those points because it just makes the stage go faster.
Yeah.
It just gets it moving along. Very late finish.
And something happens for the viewer.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're literally watching one guy solo. Yeah, you get to see some sprints at KOM points. We just watched one guy, Vystrova, respect to him.
Did we watch one guy the entire time?
But exactly. You watch break formation, see him go, boom. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, your point is actually, it sounds not that important. It's like, why are you bothering now talking about 5 minutes for KOM points? But if you are watching a sports product, the biggest one in the world, and something happens, and you're like, cool, bang, turn it off. I'll come back in 3.5 hours. That's not good, is it?
No, of course not.
Like it's not. So I'm not saying I don't want every stage. I don't like every World Championships being the same course. You know, I don't want every stage to be a Barcelona circuit. Last year there was too many of the same stages. I'm happy, like we said,
there need to be sprints.
There needs to be sprint stages, but yeah, you can do small things to maybe make it a bit more entertaining.
Would it be too extreme if we start adding more intermediate sprints in sprint stages? Instead of having 50 points at the finish line, having 3 intermediate sprints and a 50-point sprint at the finish line instead of 70.
Golden kilometer? Why don't we have golden kilometers?
Because let's be honest, Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard would be like, I don't care. The break would take it. Because there would be money on the line. So then it would actually result in people going in the breakaway because of the money that's on those lines. But the bonus seconds, nobody would care in GC.
True, because they had that in the Giro. They had like 50 intermediate sprints a day. None of them mattered. The Red Bull kilometer, not once did a GC guy go for it, except Eulalia. But yeah,
what else can the sport do to improve the first half of a sprint stage?
No, just make the KOM jersey able to change hands because of the Cat 4s.
Does it need to be 160 kilometers? In a Grand Tour, it does help with the endurance of 3 weeks, but is it that big of a difference if it's 160 versus 120?
To me, it's not. Luke's saying with the heat, it makes it, with the heat they could shorten, but you can't shorten it because you don't. Well, this is what Trenton has been going back to the heat. It'll be a short stage recap, by the way. But Trenton, he mentioned, we shouldn't be sitting here surprised that it's hot in July in 2026 at 2 p.m. on an afternoon in the south of France. Like, it is, you can't shorten stages the day of. You can't shorten them the day before, except in the Giro. It has to be like planned in advance. And we have to accept the reality that, what time is it in the US if they started at 7 in the morning? Nah, it's still the middle of the night. Good for Australians. If the Tour de France adjusts to global warming and start stages at 9 a.m., I can move back to Australia full time. Seriously.
Yeah, but then, that would be easy to, because back in the day when we started the podcast, you were recording podcasts every night at like 2, 3 a.m.
And then editing it.
And then
publishing
editing it.
Luke,
we shared editing
Sorry,
job.
Benji and I would share it. But
Luke was not available yet.
We did like Call of Duty Death for Death, where you give the controller over to your brother when you die.
Grand Theft Auto for me.
Okay. We did that with
my sister.
The podcast editing. And but if they move the stages earlier, then the stages finish at like 9 p.m. Easy, happy days. I go to bed at.
Yeah, but then the athletes might complain that they have to get up at 4.
You don't. This is the thing. You don't have to do carb loading.
Yeah.
Just like, if you're starting that early, just like chill out. Just don't worry about the science. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by NordVPN. When riders are sprinting, they need to keep their head on a swivel. And you know where we all need to keep our heads on a swivel? Browsing online. That's why today's episode is brought to you by NordVPN. Benji's always browsing online. Benji probably gets done by phishing emails all the time.
Yes. I'm like a 75-year-old grandma.
Benji gets offered, $10,000 for his inheritance from I'm
like, oh my God, I had an uncle.
an uncle 10,000 kilometers away. And Benji clicks on it. Don't be like Benji. Don't be like him. I think most people still think of NordVPN as something you switch on before you're using your airport Wi-Fi. but it's become much more than that. Of course, you can still get fast, secure VPN that protects your privacy online, but NordVPN has also introduced its new next-gen antivirus built for the threats we're actually facing today. It's not old school computer viruses anymore. Like I said, it's phishing emails, fake websites, malicious downloads, and the next-gen antivirus helps spot those dangers before you do. It tells you, hey, Benji, you don't have an uncle who passed away 10,000
It says exactly that?
It says exactly. Well, I'm not sure, actually. I don't want to. I'm not sure it says exactly that. I think it doesn't say exactly that. To be clear, Benji also didn't receive that email, to my knowledge. He wouldn't tell me if he did. If he clicked on it, he wouldn't tell me. So just like the riders are always looking ahead for danger in the final, NordVPN helps you stay one step ahead online. Upgrade your online protection with an all-in-one digital security app. Head to nordvpn.com/LRCP to get an exclusive NordVPN deal, including 4 extra months for free. And with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee, you can try it completely risk-free.
Okay.
We're going to the sprint, or we're going to the
intermediate sprint, Patrick. I wasn't sure where you were going there for a second, but intermediate sprint. We saw a lead up towards that intermediate sprint, bit of a sketchy 1.1k to 700 meters before the intermediate sprint, but the tempo in the peloton was ridiculously calm, super relaxed, and Weisschoffer took the 25 points at this intermediate sprint, and then we saw the sprint happening behind, and can I be completely honest? I don't actually remember who won. I think there was a split, and Astana got
did a crazy good lead out. It was Ballerini and Turnison. They did a lead out on the right-hand side. Alpecin got caught flat-footed. That's happened to Philipsen in the 3 sprints I've seen. He's been caught flat-footed on the front too early, and then speeds come from the back. And yeah, Ballerini, Turnison just launch him, and Cantor wins like with bike lengths and bike lengths. But Pedersen was good at the intermediate sprint once again. Pedersen's, he's not got a lead out. Like, there's no Sturven there guiding him. He's really fighting himself. This is different. Like, last year, he was really struggling in these sprints. Bini was competitive once again at the IS, same as Philipsen. But it was, like, Coy was in the mix with the decathlon guys, didn't go for it in the end. Merlier's just following. But, yeah, who won today? This is what I'm angry. I've got my rant preloaded. I got my angry preloaded, but yeah, this is why I'm cranky at someone. But yeah, the IS Pedersen's looking good. He's up to like 143 points at the end of today. We go to the hill zone. Verstroffer's he's just cruising. They're gradually bringing him back. Quick step of pacing. No one tries to make it hard. Yeah, would it have worked? Probably not. Would I have
the line dropped?
Would I have tried it? If I was Trek, probably, to be honest. Like, could you have dropped Cantor or Merlier and maybe improve Pedersen's position, made it a harder like stage? Maybe not. And the thing is, Quickstep would have dropped their whole team back to pull Merlier back. But yeah, over the KOM sprint, the last one, you got the solitary Cat 3. There's 1 point available. Verstroffer takes the 1 point. There's a fight between Baudin and Molinar for the last remaining point. Asgren's defending, trying to lead out Baudin. Wright follows, and you could see what Wright was trying to do. He was trying to bridge across to Verstroffer. He does that. Asgren sees he's doing it. Dens followed, and then chose not to go. I thought he was trying to do the same move.
I don't know what Dens was doing.
Me either. I thought it was like a good opportunity for him to follow. And yeah, Asgren, Wright go clear. They've got a companion. They've got a little backpack, like a small kid's backpack.
Like Yoda on the back of Luke.
Yeah, like what is it? The Dior little bags, the Chanel little bags. Ms. Rouge will know. It's a Valentin Paris Pantra, and
was that a subtle flex?
She will know. It doesn't mean she has one. And Valentin Paris Pantra is there, and we're like, this is the hypothetical I have for you today. Could Valentin Paris Pantra beat Verstroffer, Wright, and Asgren in a flat sprint if they have to pull him full to the line?
No.
No?
No.
They've got to go full. The peloton's right there.
No.
They got to start like sprinting at like 700 meters.
No.
You don't think?
I think it would come to the point that he starts struggling in the wheel on the flat.
I agree. Like if Asgren just starts doing 700 watts in the flat, and there's a bit,
I think he'd struggle as well.
Quickstep also agree with you. They start chasing there, even though he's ahead.
I also don't think they thought about the scenario.
Well, they did. That's why they put him up there. That's why he's there.
Okay.
So he gets brought back. We're going to have a sprint. 14 Ks to go. Jostling starts. We see the GC teams are behind. So there is less fighting for position. We saw no GC team at the front except Ineos, Benji.
Yeah, and I was actually confused for a second when it comes to Ineos. Well, like, oh, are they trying to set up Godon for the sprint queue?
Dean Gordon.
Gordon. Sorry, my apologies. Visma was very clearly at the back of the peloton. They were doing their, I don't want to call it the Pyrenees gimmick because I believe it works. It's a strategy of staying at the back, out of trouble with a buffer around you. In doing so, if a crash happens, then you can work your way around it. And the important thing, and it will come into play later in the stages, sprint stages have something called a 3-second rule. A 3-second rule means that, hypothetically, if the peloton splits due to a crash with 6 kilometers to go, and there's gaps in between the groups of the peloton, then the gaps need to be 3 seconds for that gap to be counted. But a 3-second gap at sprint speed, what is that? 70 meters, 50 meters?
Probably depends. Well, it depends what sprint speed. I mean, it's very strange. Yeah, at sprint,
67 kph, let's say.
At sprint speed, yeah, it's 50 meters, maybe.
So the gap needs to be quite significant for the gap to count to begin with. And there's always riders in between. And we'll get to that here because there is a crash. Now, the crash happens with about 5.5 kilometers to go. There's a bend to the right, I would say. And in doing so, Molinar basically flies over at first I thought a hay bale, but it might just be a central reservation kind of object. And in that crash was involved a decathlon rider on the right of the road, and also Stuyven, after which 2 quick-step riders wait with Stuyven, who are at the back of the peloton anyway, so not the most important riders for Merlier. This ends up with splits in the peloton where Merlier is in the front peloton together with Alpecin and Philipsen with 3 riders-ish. Astana pretty present with 3-ish riders. Koy was there. I don't think he had anything when it comes to help from the team there left. There was no GC rider in the front group. There was a second peloton with Remco, Pogacar, and Sixas, and a third peloton with Jonas Vingegaard. Now, before this crash, how was UAE and Pogacar positioning in the run-up to this?
So this is the thing, like the game theory of the sitting at the back. If every GC guy does it, there's like no risk in theory. Well, less risk. If one GC team had gone to the front, then it changes then everyone has to go to the front.
Yeah.
Because if Sykes, Pog, Vingegaard, if they'd been at the front and there'd been this split, then they would have taken time on GC. Probably 10, 14 seconds. So
one thing to note, Mark Reef, who is the team car guy for Visma Lease bike. Team car guy is not the title he would give himself, but I'm giving it to him. He said that Jonas crashed according to Twitter, and Jonas finished on Kampenarts' bike today.
Okay, so Vingegaard's gone down in that crash. It was quite a way down in the peloton. It was like not right at the front. It was in the middle zone, and indeed, UAE and Visma were not right at the back either in the Schmidt-Plapp zone. Like we look at, those guys were way at the back.
Yeah.
But the 5Ks to go was after that, so it happens at the worst possible time because you also don't have time to come back. The sprint's on, but we have no really images of what's happening there. Sprint continues. Cofidis are drilling it on the front with Benjamin Thomas. We see Astana bubbling up on the right-hand side. Picnic take over. Bittner gets chopped out of their train. NSN, then they're battling Cofidis. There's another crash as the Cofidis rider goes down. 2.4 Ks to go. And it's split in... This reminded me a lot of the stage where Haig crashed, where Merlier won in 2021, where there was that narrowing, and then it split, and then split again. And the Astana rider, they do a perfect lead out again. And yeah, they come to the right-hand side. I almost feel like they went too far. Then, like, there was Ricard. He went on the front. He was looking. I'm trying to find the last K.
He was looking for Philipsen and couldn't find Philipsen because Philipsen was like P15 thanks to that move by the Astana rider, which kind of split the group. There were gaps in between, and Merlier was also towards the back when it comes to with Philipsen. So those two were like completely out of it at this point. You never know with Merlier. You never know with Philipsen, because if the tempo drops at the front, then boom, we've got the sprint at the front. But I think Olaf Koy was basically the best positioned. I am trying to think through the other riders that were also present around him, but Pedersen was also not in perfect position, was kind of in the middle of Koy and the Philipsen Merlier bunch at the back. So it was starting to look really good with Olaf Koy. And how did the last 400 meters go, Patrick?
Yeah, I've got the last 1.3 Ks. As I said, Astana there. Koy just slides himself up on the he's already there on the Cofidis train, uses the corner. I think he did have a teammate who was on his wheel and then dropped the wheel. So yeah, go and watch the left-hand corner with like 1K, just over 1K to go. There's a little split further there. Turgis makes the split, and Pedersen has to close that himself with Binny in the wheel. And indeed, Astana come from speed once Rickard stops. And there's another corner with Ballerini in front of, I think, Turnesen. And the problem is 400 meters to go. There's just, Koy boxes himself onto the wheel of Canter, takes out the Cofidis rider. Hubart shoots up the inside, taking all the risks. Pedersen tries to launch early, but Koy was gone. And indeed, this is how Koy always wins. If he's in position, and Merlier and Philipsen are not in position, he just wins. That's how he's won all his sprints. Or if he's in their wheel, they launch too early, they make a mistake. He's the leopard. Was it something Leopard van Numansdorp, Luke?
The Leopard van...
No, but it's spotted. It's spotted cheetah is the word in Dutch. But it's spotted leopard in
You're
Dutch.
talking to Luke as if everybody can hear him, by the way. But I don't know what the nickname is of Mr. Leopold. Numansdorp is the village, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
Koy wins. Big win for Koy. Benji was a big advocate, and Luke, for Koy going to the Tour, but Luke's biased, obviously. He wins what he was brought to the team to do.
I'm technically a hater. I've never called him a top sprinter in my life.
You are a legit hater. He is
still not saying it.
He is it's like he can just keep winning, and everyone's like, but
I'm the beacon of objectivity here when it comes to Koy.
Like, but in a side-by-side sprint against Milan, he's not as fast, or as Merlier. It's like, okay, but he positions himself 100 times better.
How many Tour de France wins does he have?
1 out of 1.
Exactly.
How many does Merlier have?
Well, you can say 1 out of 1, but he should just learn to climb if he wants to win stage 3.
1 out of 1. And it's just crazy. Yeah, 24 years old, turning 25 this year, only at his first Tour de France. Obviously, he was on Visma for 5 years. Did 2 Giri. And now, Decathlon, they were not going to take him. They really weren't going to take him because he was sick all year. But then at Boucle, he won twice. At Baloise, he won again. And now, first opportunity, Tour de France, bang, wins in Po. A big return for them. And that's why it takes pressure off Sykesas. I mean, what if he doesn't win a stage? What if this is their best option? Probably it's a better chance to win 2 stages than Sykesas.
Olaf Koy winning 2 stages, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
it's just easier to win a sprint than to beat.
Anything can happen in a sprint. We've said this numerous times already. Yes, Merlier is the best sprinter in the world. Yes, Jasper Philipsen is arguably the second best sprinter in the world. But actually, on that topic, Patrick, right now, I want to ask you, who are the top 5 sprinters in the world after stage 5 of this Tour de France?
Merlier. Milan.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Milan's won how many World Tour races this year?
I mean, like, are you sure he's like second compared to like Manier and Philipsen? That's what I'm trying to convey?
Manier, fuck, he was good, wasn't he? Manier, what did he do? How much has he won this year?
3 Giro stages. Ciclamino.
Tirreno didn't move me. Algarve was good.
But it's only Algarve.
Yeah. No, give me... Oh, this is a tough one. Merlier.
It is.
Merlier's number 1. He's the best sprinter in history.
Okay.
Milan's still number 2 because, like, if this was really your goal, if you wanted to win 1 Tour de France stage every year and you can't sign Pog, the next rider I would sign would be Jonathan Milan.
Okay.
If you want to build you just build a nuclear lead out around him with
Jasper Stuyven, his previous.
Stuyven would be handy. Askies, Turnesens, and he will win you a Tour de France stage like lock every year. So I'm still going Milan 3. I will go.
So
I'm going Koy. Milan 2. I'm going Koy 3, Manier 4.
Really?
Yeah. Philipsen's not moving me.
For me, Manier is above Koy. I'm sorry.
But why? Like that? But why?
Because Meunier is more won against the big sprinters in the last year.
That's not true.
That's is true. Against Milan at the Giro 3 times.
Okay.
Koy has done it twice this year. Then again, he's been injured half the year. But we're saying up to this point this year.
Koy beat Merlier and Philipsen and Bini beat them in Belgium. So what else is he supposed to do there? Buchler, okay, they weren't there. And now he wins the Tour de France stage. Like,
I think both are super close, to be clear. I think you could go either way on this.
Yeah.
I have more trouble with the rest.
Like, I think me and you can debate that. I think the controversial thing is both of us have Koy and Meunier over Philipsen right now.
Yeah, yes, and despite that, I still see Philipsen as more likely to win green than Koy and Merlier in this race.
Well, yeah, Koy just didn't go for the intermediate sprints, which I said in the preview. I was like, someone's gonna do it, and they're gonna regret doing it.
Well, I think he won't regret it necessarily for the fact that he already won a Tour de France stage now.
Yeah, but is following is that going to cost you the stage?
No, it won't. I agree with you.
On a stage like today, just to take 15 points, you know. So
I have more struggles with like P6, P7 of like when will a Matthew Brennan fit in? I think after the Vuelta we're gonna have a difficult conversation.
Yeah, but he's not top 5 at the moment. Like,
not at the moment.
Philipsen is the best classic sprinter in the world right now by far.
Philipsen, eh?
Yes. Philipsen.
Yes, because
classic sprinter,
Roubaix, etc.
He won Gaan Wevelgem.
Lund Andresen is not top 5 because of his Giro for me.
I agree.
If he had a Giro where he wins 1 or 2 stages, then I'm like, oh, then he's starting to flirt with that top 5.
Yeah. No, I think if you gave Koy Stuyven like Meunier had, I don't think he'd lose.
But I think if you give Stuyven to half the people in every person in our top 5, they're suddenly a top 3 sprinter. So I think that's no conversation.
Well, Merlier had him today. It didn't work out.
Well, he was on the floor.
Yeah.
Small detail.
Yeah. Okay. I should do the top 10. Cantor finishes second after a great lead out of Astana. Merlier third. Hubarts, big surprise, fourth. Philipsen fifth. Bini sixth. Pedersen seventh. Fortin eighth for Covidis. Turgis ninth. Varenschold 10th for Uno X. We had Pogacar going across the line in 21st on 14 seconds, but there were no gaps. There was nearly a gap to Vingegaard. There was nearly 3 seconds to him, but it has to be 3 seconds. Piganzoli just shut the gap. So Sykes, Pidcock, Remco, Carapaz, Pog, Vingegaard, Ayuso, and Del Toro all finished same time. No major GC guys lost time except Van Aertvelt lost 40 seconds. He was on the wrong side of the split. And yeah, that in terms of the points jersey, Pedersen's got 143 points. He is 64 points ahead of Bini. So it's a big gap, but also a few 70-pointers. Pedersen's looking good. He's doing what he needs to do. He's got to get these 7ths and 5ths in these 70-pointers. He has to keep doing that, and then he's on the right way for it. Tomorrow's stage is the big one. 186.2 kilometers from Pau to Gavagny-Gèvres. We have 110 kilometers of mostly flat, false flat uphill and some hills in the middle, like 2 5-minute climbs in the middle. The intermediate sprint is after an 1,800-meter 7% hill. If the break hasn't gone there, I think Trek will try to launch Pedersen on that, and he can take the full IS delta. So I think the intermediate sprint will take... I think it'll make a big difference to this stage in break formation, actually. I think, Trek will really be aggressive trying to get in the break, and then if the break goes early with Pedersen, Bini, Philipsen, then he will re-attack on that Cat 4.
He has to, because otherwise you're sprinting against Philipsen and Biniam at that intermediate sprint. So that's definitely a must. I think it's also the kind of stage where if you're a top team and you see that a breakaway is forming and it's a larger breakaway, I'm leaning towards UAE Team Emirates will try to control the breakaway and try to win the stage with Tadej Pogacar. On the other hand, if you're Visma or UAE, there's also the option of sending a rider in the breakaway as satellite rider. And if I then look at the teams, then... like for me at Visma, that would be Armirai, you know?
Exactly. Like you've got this, like it's not as hard as the Coulthard. There are steeper sections in there, but it's a funny old stage because it's also not like the Galibier 2024, they descended off it, but then it stopped. The Jouplan, they descended off it, they stopped. The Tourmalet, they go up, 45, 50 minutes, 7% to 2,100 meters. And then you've got, what, 20 Ks, 18, 19 Ks? What, up, false slide uphill? They're going to go 35 Ks an hour up that? 30? So you've got a descent of 15 minutes, maybe? Nah, more. The descent is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The descent's like maybe 17 minutes. Then you're climbing for half an hour. It's 45 minutes from the top of Tourmalet. Minimum, 45 minutes plus.
Like, how long is the effort? 50 to 55 minutes?
On Tourmalet?
Yeah.
Nah, I think it's less. I overestimate.
Because the record is like, what is it? 40, 45, 47, 48?
45, I think. 45, roughly.
And I think it's going to be treated like the final climb.
So you think UAE will go for it?
I hope so, for the sake of my entertainment, that we see some actual proper GC action. I want to see the stakes. The stakes going into this stage is Tadej Pogacar is the favorite, Jonas Vingegaard is second favorite. The rest is the battle for podium, whether it's Lipovic, Remco, Sixas, Ayuso for all I care. I want to see differences tomorrow to have a rough estimate of where they're at. But on the other hand, I want the differences to be close enough that we've still got a race after tomorrow.
Exactly. KOM as well important. We got a Cat 1 and an HC climb, then a Cat 2 at the finish. So even if you pass the climb in front, maybe you get caught, but you can still take the HC. Who are we looking at to get in the break? Carapaz. Carapaz. I mean, he's in GC though, is he not?
Yes.
Carapaz, Aronsman are in GC.
Martinez
will get free reign. Is he?
If he's okay.
Lenny.
He looked fried the other day. Actually, I think he had a mechanical, which made me look like he was fried, but I think he might be okay.
Are people okay with Lenny going like 6 minutes up the road?
I don't know. I'd be okay with it.
Jaga has to be in the break.
How much time is Martinez losing in an individual time trial?
Not that much. Not that bad.
Not 6 minutes, but
I don't know. I think he hasn't lost enough. I think someone will have a problem with it, or no one. And Bernal, I think, can go in. Para for Caja. I'm looking at the line under Van Eytvelt, and probably Van Eyvelt's okay. I don't think Aronsman people will let in on 10 minutes 13. So I think it's Jagat down, and you're looking at Hindley's, Izagirre's, Tejada, Bernal, Voisard.
Raul Garcia
Pierna, great for the finish if you can, survive.
Castillo and Garcia Pierna, their level's been good so far this race.
Valentin Paris-Pantra, but the problem is, how does he win?
Iberi, Izagirre, Jai
Hindley, Derek G. West.
Vauquelin will try, but his level for climbing doesn't seem like it's up to scratch. Chris Harper is a name I'd put forward.
Harper, that's a good shout for that sort of climb. Diesel. I don't know how Plapp's climbing, but Plapp is good for the finish if he can make it over. Who else?
But do we think it's going to be a break stage?
Nah, because it's the first mountain stage. It rarely goes to break.
I think Tadej Pogacar wins.
I think Isaac Del Toro wins.
In what kind of way? We get multiple riders over the top and UAE plays numbers?
Yeah.
Do we expect Red Bull to be there with numbers?
True. So,
I don't think...
Is Del Toro... Okay, we like Del Toro. Is he really going to drop Lipovic?
So you think the potential UAE strat could be drop everyone except Jonas Vingegaard and still have Del Toro there, and then roll numbers on him on the final uphill climb? Is that a...
Nah,
that doesn't feel like...
No, because I don't think you get the situation where it's just three of them.
Yeah.
Then you have Sexas, then you have Lipovic, then you have Remco. Then you might have even a Lenny still there.
I think it's Pogacar launches it, and Del Toro might not even do the lead out.
Yates does the lead out, you mean?
Yes, and then Del Toro plays with the rest and then mugs on them if he can.
I mean, Pogacar will go off the favorite, one would think. It's a big stage in the Tour. This is a stage where minutes can be won or lost, more so than maybe the Lamarckstein stage. So
it's kind of Courtrai.
Yeah, it's literally the same profile, more or less. It's just it's a longer stage. We've had hot conditions. It's going to be hot again, 37 degrees in Po tomorrow.
What climb was Courtrai, the big one?
Tourmalet.
It was also
Tourmalet.
I thought so
combination,
too.
yeah.
It's basically the
They
same
say it's
stage.
copy paste stage, just a bit longer.
I like it.
And I think we're gonna have big action tomorrow. So we'll see. Ooh, you don't think? No, you wait. If Pog feels good, they go for it. That's just how they go.
And I think they also want to see what it's like on stage. It depends on his headache. The over-analysis of the headache.
I mean,
I don't think it's going to be a problem. To be fair, if I wore a helmet with an AI artist's graphic on it, I would also get a headache.
I'm not sure it changes how the helmet feels. But yeah, they did that last year, I think.
Yeah.
So UAE have special helmets on today. I'm not sure if they're wearing them tomorrow.
I couldn't care less. I have something against the concept of AI artists. That is non-existent.
Benji has shares in data centers. Cancel him. Okay. Thanks for listening as always. We've got the big stage tomorrow. I'm really, really excited for it. We've been waiting a week almost for it. And we'll see with a recap of that tomorrow. Until then, ciao, ciao.